Okay, this is an intro for the options series videos which we're filming. And the options series videos are to educate the practitioner on all the different options and avenues that one has available to them. We'll start off with the actual options drill, which will basically be a drill to help the practitioner become more knowledgeable in the options they have available when it comes to their opponent's movement and motion and their rotation. Many martial artists only study what they do. They don't study their opponent. And the options drill is geared towards an opponent who is either continuously punching you or at least throwing several punches at you if you choose to block. And it's geared towards giving you the understanding of how the body rotates and what you have available to you to manipulate this rotation and their balance and structure, which is the most important thing. We can apply just about anything if we remove the balance and structure from the opponent. So this drill and this whole series is really about expanding your awareness of the options that you have available to you. We're going to start off with the options drill and show you some of the variables that you need to be aware of. Then we're going to go into the second factor, which is vitally important, and that would be your distancing. If you do kicking arts, striking arts, throwing arts, you realize joint locking arts, you realize that all of these require a slight change in distance when you're moving from one to another. And being able to manipulate your opponent to a distance which you want to, let's say, launch a kick, you have to be able to either, you have to move to create that distance, or you have to be able to manipulate your opponent in a position so that that distance is created also. So we're going to show you some variables about how to do this, distancing. Then we're going to, the next part of this section will be applying the sub-arts to all those variables that you study on the options drill. I try to tell my students that in each instance you have to be able to show how you can apply the escaping arts, which is the most important, the throwing arts, joint locking arts, which are the controlling arts, and then your striking arts, your destructive arts, which would be kicking, otoku no waza, ono no atemi, and those things. So this is kind of built like a stepping stone kind of thing. Each of the components is equally important. So make sure you study it all the way through. And then the last part of this will be exploring a concept called yo-yu. Yo-yu is the ability to have a committed attack with the ability to adapt and change with changing circumstances. Your opponent is not frozen in time in a position where he's punching you. He's constantly going to move. If you block a punch, he's not going to stand still and allow you to perform all your techniques on. There will be a rotation, there will be movement. So the idea is, if you're applying a technique and the practitioner runs into problems, what we want to do is educate them to all the other options they have available. So you might be applying a joint lock, it's not working, you feel resistance, you might roll into an atemi, a hand combination to finish the situation. All of the sub-arts should and do, if you're educated to the fact, they all blend seamlessly together. So you can transition from one to the next to the next. So this is the option series. I hope you enjoy it. What we'll go to first is we're going to go into the zones of the body, projecting side, retracting side, and your center. And gain an understanding of how to use these zones, what to be aware of, how to manipulate them, and how to use them to create a lot of options for you in your self-defense. So we're going to start out, let's see, Kurt. So when a person is attacking you, and you get out of the way of the punch, this arm's all the way through. This is your projected side, which is seeking reaction. Okay? Now, what's going to happen is, to throw the other punch, this side has to retract. So this shoulder, this hip, has got to retract in order for him to throw the other punch. So your options as far as the retracting side go, he throws a punch. I have the ability to, as he rotates, to follow the retracting side. create distance for kicking. Okay, I have to be able to speed up the retracting side, which changes the arc of his punch. Okay, I have checking or manipulating the retracting side, so I bump him off. Okay, and we're going to work on these. You have to understand that when you work the retracting side, you have to be able to do everything from the outside and the inside. Okay, so this doesn't just work if you're out here. Okay, this is also perfect here. If he retracts and I follow this back, I create this effect. If he throws a punch and I'm inside and he punches, I have the ability to freeze this retracting side. All right. You also have the ability to manipulate it and speed it up. So if I cut in here and he rotates, this shift out here creates an effect on his body. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through these. We're going to get you guys up. We're going to get you doing them, and then we're going to add in the sub-arts. You're locking, you're controlling arts. You're locking, you're throwing, and your destructive arts, which is your striking. All right. So first thing you guys are going to do, he's going to rotate. I'm going to give you a couple options off of each one. As he rotates, I want you to follow the retracting side back, and I want you to create distance. Okay. When he follows through with an attack, I want you guys to fire a kick. Now you can fire the kick high, you can fire the kick low, it doesn't really matter. Basically from the waist up is going to stop the mass. Alright? So here he rotates, just cut around, follow it back, and throw your kick. Then what you're going to do is you're going to cut him off and you're going to manipulate this. So what's going to happen is as this shoulder starts to turn, I'm going to give this a little bump. And it's going to tighten the arc of his punch. Here, he rotates, cut it off here, now you have him frozen here, I can sweep this leg, okay, you can kick there if you want. Alright. Then you have your checking, freezing. Let's do it from this end. He's throwing a punch here, I'm cutting here, now I'm gonna inhibit the motion of him coming back by putting a block here. So as he rotates this checking motion drives him off to the other side. Right? Then I want you guys to do it from the inside. Okay, so he's going to punch, you guys are going to slip to the inside, you're doing a lean, so you're baiting him to punch here. So he rotates, I'm just going to follow his back. Here again, a sweep, throw a kick. He punches, inside, he rotates, and you can check this, and now you have other options available to you there. Alright, on the inside, you can slip. Now here, as I feel this start to move, I'm going to project his hand, which is going to cause him to rotate. Now I'm set up for a coconut. Alright, so you guys get up and work this, okay? Okay, now, as I'm watching you guys do this, I want you to understand that when you check the body, when you check the retracting side, so if, this one's going to go over here. It says he throws a punch and I work to here. If I check with this hand, and he rotates, this is a check for engagement. Okay, you have checking for engagement, you have checking for a total escape. Right? If he throws a punch and I cut here and he rotates, this is my check for total escape. So it really depends on what you want to do. Okay, if he's my attacker and the door is there and I want out of the situation, then I don't want to do this. I don't want to check him with this hand because as I do this, my body rotates and I follow him. Right? So if you're a much smaller person, you're being attacked by a bigger person, you punch him here, put the closest, so your right arm closest. Now as he goes to rotate, this will bump him and it will actually repel you in that direction. Now what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to add some of your sub-arts. Now when you do checking, a lot of times you are using the body and you're using the checking motion to repel him, okay? Which when you repel the body, what changes? You guys can talk. Distance. All right. So let's say I'm a kicker. All right. I don't want to kick this guy. All right. He's throwing a punch here. Okay. And he rotates. Check this. This gives me the distance that I need to kick. All right. If I choose to do hand combinations, and he punches here and rotate, and he punches down here. So as he rotates from here, I move right in and I work my hand combinations. Right? All of your weapons fit into different categories, and they all belong to different timing and distance. So you have to understand it. You have to understand what I'm trying to do is give you the tools and show you all the results of all the tools, and then you become more well-rounded martial artist. If you throw a punch and I'm on the inside and I check and he rotates, brings him right into an elbow. Okay? So
let's take and work. You guys have already worked your kicking, right? Has everybody worked your kicks?
Right.
Okay. All right. So let's work on speeding up the retracting side and setting yourself up, and we'll go to a different zone. So he's going to punch. You're going to slip. He's going to rotate. I'm going to shift this back here. Okay. This is good old Tokeno range. As he rotates, this comes right up center, and that's what happens to the body. All right. He throws a punch. I'm rotating here. I'm swinging this out. I'm a little closer. He goes to rotate up. I'm going to check this shoulder as it comes in, and then I'm going to come across and work my hits and take him into the throw. All right. So if you're going to do this, you're going to be outside. You're going to check. If he moves too far, you can slide in. Okay. This hand right here is already lined up. So as he rotates, we didn't get into the projecting side yet, but it comes in right here. As he rotates, his shoulder comes right to my hand. Stops the projecting side. So as he rotates, I move in, I check him, come across, work your hits, drive him, fold him at the waist, and then take him down. On the inside, okay, if I'm working here, he rotates, I check this back. Now here, my distance is a little bit longer. So as he goes to rotate, I'm going to fire around here, and then I'm going to run in and work my strikes. Okay? So inside and outside. Okay, now something I'm going to touch on this several times during the course of this. All right, escaping is always utilized, always. All right. So if he's throwing a punch, okay, and I'm working the outside here, and I manipulate this back, okay, and he rotates the hit, I'm not staying here to do this. I am shifting, okay, because if I stay here and he rotates, I can offset him, but I feel his mass. Right? As he rotates, I shift my weight. Okay? It has a whole different effect on him. Right? Because he's got my center visually. Okay? When you go to hit somebody, your brain is calculating distance, timing, all of that kind of stuff, and your brain has calculated where his center is. Right? You're always switching your center. And you really never know where your center really is. You're also using a lot of leaning factor on this. And that could be leaning out here, and then he punches, and I slip inside, okay? Or I'm leaning here, he punches, I slip inside. A lot of times it looks like the person isn't trying to hit you, but you're baiting them from the get-go, okay? You're using your preparatory mindset, all right? So please understand that every single thing you do, you're escaping. You may not be moving a great deal, you may just be shifting your center from here to here. But that's still escaping. Right? You're going to find that useful when it comes to stopping the projecting side. All right? So now we're going to deal with the projecting side. So he's going to throw a punch. All right? I'm working to here. All right? This side has to go back. This side to come forward. All right? And we just did the projecting side on the other side too. But now what's going to happen is, like I said, I'm already lined up. If I line this up on the top of his arm and he rotates, okay, it's going to catch that shoulder. If you're working pressure points, you're going after lung 1. Okay? So from here, now again, I'm leaning to the right. As he rotates, I'm shifting to the left. And then my hands come up and I work my hits. Alright? So he's going to punch here. Now, my options are this. I can follow the retracting side back and move inside the projecting side, which puts me here. Alright? If I choose to do that and I want to do a throw here, he's punching here, he rotates, I stay inside the projecting side, and I use this for a throw. Okay. So punch here, he rotates, cut inside. Right? If I'm on the inside, I'm here. All right, I'm leaning out here, giving him the target. As he rotates, again, you shift. You create the same throw off of both the inside and the outside. Punch. Okay, so that is moving to the inside of the projecting side. As he rotates, I'm going to shift outside the projecting side. As he's rotating, I'm going to manipulate this, project outside. Okay? I can do that two ways. I can do it by using the retracting arm, or I can place my hand on the center. As I feel motion, I shift, and that takes him off center. All right? So you're going to go outside, you're going to move inside the projecting side, he's going to move outside the projecting side, and whatever distance you end up at, I want you to utilize your combinations. All right? Punch. Same thing from the inside. Okay? Move inside, touch of the throat. Here, move outside, okay? Work your hits, okay? Then you're gonna work on stopping, okay? Here is gonna rotate, shift the hip. Work your hip, take him down, okay? Remember that you're escaping before you hit that projecting side. The other thing is, you wanna make sure that when you're stopping the projecting side, that you're also working freezing of the retracting side too, okay? This gives you two hands on. You can hit the center and hit the projecting side, or if you're ending up here, you can check this and hit this, and then roll into what you want to do, okay? Now, when it comes to dealing with the projecting side, the most common place for us to stop it is on the shoulder, especially when you're on the outside. Okay, so as he's rotating, hitting the shoulder. Understand that this side is your retracting side for now. As this goes back, watch the shoulder, the hip, and the knee. Okay? All three of them are coming towards you. That's all part of the projecting side. Right? If you understand that and he rotates, I can use my kicking techniques to put this guy in a spot. Right? Just by stopping that knee. Now, if you're partnered up with somebody who has knee problems, let them know. Okay? Before they kick you in the knee. All right? So, same thing from the inside. Okay, he's working here. I do this, it brings him right into my other strikes. Realize all the weapons that you work on, all your atemi, your elbows, forearms, your palms, your punches, all that kind of stuff, it all comes down to weaponry dictated towards distancing. So, if you saw a punch and I cut here and he rotates, I check his knee, this brings this right into here. If I choose from there to continue on and take him into the throat, you can do that too. All right? Understand if let's say I'm a smaller person, okay, and he punches, and I slip the punch, this is my best target right here. Well, if I'm this small, I can go down here too. But as he rotates, he's shot into the hip. Now look at, he's as tall as I am. Right? So understand how the body moves. The most important thing about this is, in martial arts, we spend too much time thinking about what we're doing, about paying attention to what we do. Okay? In order to be effective, we have to understand what he's doing, right? And I don't know any person that punches and then doesn't throw their other side, okay? I don't know anybody except new kids in a kids class. You're going to get out of the way, Kirk, and then do this, okay? Nobody does that. Nobody stands here and goes, "Ooh, gotcha," okay? There's a rotation that happens to gain power and force into that strike. So make sure you understand that. So now what I want you guys to do is we're going to experiment with that projecting side. From here, you're going to rotate. All I'm going to do is, as it starts moving, I'm going to check it with the instep of the foot. Okay, so he's rotating, I just catch the knee. Brings him right into here. Okay? Punch. Work from the inside. Okay, right here, I like the hip. So as you rotate, escape the hip. Okay? You can do the hip from the outside too, okay? It just, you got to be really, really close to do it, okay? So I want you guys to work that. The other thing on the projecting side is cutting of the elbows, all right? And when you're working in close, if you're looking to work in close, this is a very good alternative to trying to block or parry a punch, all right? So he throws a punch, and I cut here. As he rotates, I cut that elbow, and I pass. Okay, he rotates, I cut under the elbow, and I pass it. It allows you this in close range here, right? If I have to block that punch, he punches, and he rotates, and I have to block this punch, I'm still taking on this guy's mask, and now he's ready to punch again. So if he does that, I've got to check this elbow, right? So understand the cutting of the elbows. You guys are going to do this as kind of like a drill. It can be done from the inside or the outside. It doesn't really matter. He goes to rotate, I cut that elbow and bring it down. He goes to rotate, this time I'm going to come under the elbow. If you're going to go under the elbow, you're going to use the opposite side. So as he rotates, this is cutting and this is checking. Depending on the size of his hook punch, you're going to need this here as a safety. Right? And then I just continue this motion up and in. That could be considered a high block. All right? When you're cutting over, I want you to also hit and cut. So as he's rotating in, I'm going to hit and then cut straight to the elbow. So, you guys, I want you to work outside. He's going to punch. Okay, he's going to rotate. You're going to cut. Pass it. Okay, he's going to rotate again. I'm going to check. Come underneath it. Okay, he's going to cut again. I'm going to punch and cut. Okay, this gives you everything you need for your throwing, your striking, and your locking. All right, questions?
All right, now,
Okay, go. Back to the cutting. We're going to go back to the cutting. Because that's probably one of the single most important parts of this whole program is that specific spot right there. It allows you the freedom to stay in close without doing too much escaping other than a slight shift, and allows you to manipulate the body structure. You're actually moving your opponent around you instead of you moving around your opponent, right? Which is faster than you moving around him escaping, right? The other thing is, as you're doing these, guys, I want you to try to slip in the rest of your subarts, okay? The subarts being your escaping, your controlling, your locking, and your throwing, and your destructive arts, which would be your striking and your kicking, all right? So what I want you guys to do is he's going to throw a punch, you're going to work here, he's going to rotate. I want you to hit, and I want you to cut. So you're using your striking arts there to offset him a little bit. Now, on the next rotation, right now, he feels pressure here from this elbow, okay? And if I tighten this leg, it has a different effect on him. As he rotates now, you're going to totally escape. This is where all your subarts blend together. They should be seamless from one to the next to the next. So I did basically a blocking move, a striking move, and now as he rotates, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit and continue to move to create the void for him to fall into. All right. So he's going to punch. You guys are going to work here. He's going to rotate. You're going to hit, cut. Bring him down, he's going to rotate, you're going to hit again, blend with him, and bring him right in. All right? Then, he's going to punch, you're going to step outside, he's going to rotate, you're going to punch and cut. Okay, on the next rotation, he's going to rotate, I'm going to hit, and I'm going to slip. So this arm comes up over my shoulder. Here. So as he rotates, I'm going to give him a little shot, and I'm going to embrace his arm. And then from here, I'm going to roll him into a wrist and elbow lock. If I feel resistance, I'm going to bring him into a Z-lock. And here's your attempt, here's your striking arms. If I want to continue this into a throw, take him right back that way. So, work your cutting, but strike first. Cut it down and in. He's going to rotate, I'm going to hit, and I'm going to keep moving. Okay, this is critical, guys. My hit isn't really a hit that's going to knock him back. As he rotates, this is a little shot here, and then I'm going to keep moving, bring him into the throw. Then on the second one, here he's going to rotate, kind of cut, and hit. This time, he's punching for right here, so what I'm going to do is slip inside it. There's an elbow shot right there. Bring him over, take him to here, bring him into this. You want to hit him there. Drive it back and take him into a throw. All right? The subarts should seamlessly fit together. Okay? All right, now we're going to move to the center. All right? The center, there's not a whole lot you do to the center. What you're affecting is you're affecting the person's spine. Realize that every time they throw a punch at you, it causes a rotation on the spine. All right? We are always attacking the body when it is in a weightless state. Okay? So, if he throws a punch and I cut inside and he goes to rotate and I shift, by doing this, what I'm doing is as the rotate, if he stays here, it's solid, hard to move his center, okay? But as he rotates, a little shift, moving the knee and the hip, okay? It creates an effect. So, if I'm working here and he rotates and I kick this back, this brings me in here, and now I apply my rookie finger flexible. Punch. If I work to the outside and I place my hand here, he goes to rotate, I shift that knee. Okay, we're working the knee through the hip to the arm. Right? Now understand that you can also strike the center, and also so realize that when we're manipulating right now, we're manipulating here, we're manipulating upper body. Okay, but you can also manipulate the head. Now here's the other thing. If Kurt stands here, just stand upright, okay? And I use like 10 pounds of pressure here, okay, has a certain effect. What if I use that same 10 pounds of pressure there? It's to snap his head back, it's going to arch his spine, and it's going to create a tightening of the rotation. So, if Kurt throws a punch, and I cut out here, and he goes to rotate, and I shift this back here, it has a different effect on it. Because when you see things coming into your visual plane, you want to pull back, and the same 10% pressure here does a lot of damage up here. All right, so keep that in mind. So you guys are going to work from the outside, you're going to work here, and you're going to parry block and you're going to roll your arm underneath. Now, this is real important, all right? You can stand here and rotate, you can do a big push, okay? You can do that. Or, from here, you can just take this foot and come up onto the ball of the foot and project the knee. So as he rotates, this little shift, okay? Again, you want to think about where, every time where he ends up, you want to think about what you can do to that man right from that point, okay? There is no absolutes. So you manipulate somebody, they may move a small distance, they may move a long distance. That's why you need to work on all of your weapons. You need to have long-range weapons, medium-range, and short-range weapons. Wherever he ends up, if you've got those weapons honed, you have the ability to use them. Okay? Then you're going to work inside. So I'm here. As he goes to rotate, I'm going to use this knee down. Okay? Then I want you to work from the outside, and as he rotates, I want you to give him a little smack. Okay? And wherever he ends up, I want you to take him down. All right? If he punches, okay, and I'm back here, let's say I end up partially to the side of the man facing him, and he goes to rotate, I have the center here. Okay? Whenever you're working that center, okay, so if he's here, and he rotates to the neutral state right there, okay, my check is towards his triangulation point. So be aware of your triangulation points on the floor, okay? So he's throwing a punch, and out here, he goes to rotate, I check this here, that brings him into this, and my hook kicks. You can strike the center, okay? I don't advise you striking here, but here. And this will cause what? It will cause a folding of the body. All right? So if he throws a punch and I slip back here, he rotates and I cut here. Okay, there. I want you to play with all that from the outside and the inside. Okay? I'm gonna go into the checking the center just a little bit as far as hand position. Okay, I see some people having some problems. All right. You have to be natural when you do this. All right. So Kurt's gonna be here. I don't want to ask, since they zoom in on this so that you can see more of what I'm doing. If he throws a punch here and I rotate out, this hand is here. Now this hand is straight and it's conforming to his chest, right? Now, as he starts to rotate, slow, stop, right there. Now what he's done is, his body has bent my wrist. I started out here, my wrist is straight. So I'm not trying to check it here because this back leg is going to keep that from happening. His triangulation point is back there. Whenever you're checking guys, you really have to be aware of where they have the pedestal and where they don't. Okay, I don't want to check him to where he has a leg, a pedestal to give him support. So as he starts to rotate, right there, he bends my wrist, and now it goes right back to his back triangulation. If I try to do this move here, and he rotates and I go this way, I'm going to basically roll that punch right into my face. Okay? So I have to know where. So this is flat, the wrist is straight. As he rotates, it's going to bend my wrist, and that's when I project. This sets him up for all kinds of different stuff. On the inside, he throws a punch, I parry and I put my hand here. I just put my forearm across his body. Now this time I'm not using my palm at all. As he's rotating, I shift the knee. So I'm using more of this surface area on him. Okay? You have to do what's natural. And the only way you're going to find what's natural is to go over this a bunch of times and then feel what's natural to you. Okay? So again, slip inside. This is like a crossbar right here. Okay? He's going to rotate and I'm going to shift. All right? He's going to punch. I cut. He rotates. Knee. Okay? So go back. Go over that, and then when we come back, we're going to start taking each one of these different things, and we're going to work long range, medium range, and short range, and you're going to implement all of your sub-arts. Blocking, throwing, and striking. Okay, go. Okay, a couple things I want to cover. First of all, if you're the Nuke, okay, and you're in a Kosho school, and any school for that matter, right? this is an oiski, okay? Oiski is front foot, front hand, both same, okay? You really can't generate a whole lot of power that way, right? It doesn't matter whether he throws an oiski or yakuski, which is a reverse punch, which is opposite hand and foot, okay? But realistically, I can't get any power on this, right? It doesn't matter whether he punches that way or not, either or, as long as you're aware of your triangulation points and what's going on with the person, you can still make your stuff work, right? But the bottom line is there's really no power on it, right? So let's say Sissy steps in and throws an oiski, okay? So he's here. Now, this is an oiski, but when he throws the next punch, now it's a reverse punch, because this foot is forward, all right? So I want you guys to make sure that you are punching in a natural manner. I've never seen anybody do this punch outside the dojo, all right? You see that kind of punch, okay? So make sure, when you attack, try to attack realistically, right? It doesn't matter if he throws an oiski and I end up here and he decides to rotate, okay, I can make this throw work. It doesn't matter whether he's oiski or, so if he's throwing a reverse punch this time, okay, here, and he rotates, it will all work. It doesn't matter either way, all right? But as an attacker, you want to be a good attacker, okay? Nobody is ever going to walk up to you in the street and go, that's not going to happen, right? So now, what we're going to do is we're going to mix up, we're going to take some of the stuff that you did in the options drill, and you are going to put some subarts to it, some different subarts. Try all of them, all right? Long range, we got to do what? Kick. Medium range, we do what?
Punch.
Punching. Okay. Short range, we do what? Ornamental timber. Okay. Mid-range and, well, you can do throws, long range, mid-range, and short range, but more mid-range and short range than long range, okay? Because he's going to see it coming a mile away, all right? So what I want you guys to do, we're going to take you through a bunch of things real quick, okay? So he's going to throw a punch, you guys are going to sit outside, and I want you to check for engagement. So as he rotates, I want you to catch this, and I want you to face it, okay? And on his next punch, you're going to throw your kicks, and you're going to come in with your hand clenched. Then, you're going to check for escape. As he rotates, move back, you're going to throw your side kick. Then he's going to punch, okay? This time what we're going to do is we're going to follow the retracting side back, and we're going to cut into a throw. Then, he's going to punch, you're going to follow the retracting side back, and you're going to roll this into a lock. Then he's going to punch. I'm going to manipulate, cut to the outside. He's going to rotate. You're going to move in, cut him into a throw. So here, here. Then he's going to punch. You're going to move outside. You're going to manipulate center a little bit. He's going to rotate. You're going to move in, and you're going to cut him down. And I want you to also work the knees. All right, got it?